got a lot to talk about with UFOs today, guys, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, to start with, we've got UFOs over Mexico and also Istanbul. That's right. UFO alarm in Istanbul airspace. For the past 3 days, pilots flying in Istanbul airspace have reported UFOs on their radar, triggering widespread concern. According to Demiroren news agency, pilots using that airport received traffic collision avoidance system warnings, prompting an extensive search in the region. However, authorities have been unable to determine the source of these alerts. Upon receiving the warnings, pilots immediately informed air traffic controllers, leading to coordinated search efforts in the air, at sea, and on land. While some pilots speculated that the alerts could be caused by a drone or a ship at sea, search teams found no conclusive evidence. Radio transmissions between pilots and air traffic control revealed the urgency of the situation. One pilot reported, "On final approach at 300 feet, we received a traffic alert. It could be a drone or another aircraft. For your information." The control tower's response indicated that similar warnings had been reported earlier. "Sir," they said, "we have been dealing with this for the past 2.5 hours. Several flights before you also received this warning. We have reported it to coastal authorities." The pilot then added, "We see descending traffic 500 feet below us. It appears a UFO or an unidentified traffic on our system. It appears as unidentified traffic on our system. It is now 5 miles ahead of us. We also received this warning on our previous flight." And then it talks about the mystery drones in the U.S., and it's, obviously asking the question, was this a mystery drone? We've seen this is a global phenomenon. Has it now come to Istanbul? Maybe it's already been there. Or was this a more classic, saucer-shaped UFO or some other shaped, obvious UFO, as opposed to the mystery drones, which are very likely NHI, but also still a question in my mind if it could be, caused by humans, whether from the control group or not. Jaime Maussan is reporting UFOs in Mexico. An official first-hand source within the Mexican airspace sector reports UFOs as much over the northeast of Guadalajara, northwest of Bajío. All the pilots of the planes that are taking off and flying in the area are observing them. Even a United Airlines plane asked if there was military activity or Air Force planes, which is a negative. If you have any videos of the above, please call Jaime. So Istanbul is reporting these UFOs or whatever they are as disrupting their activities. Pilots in Mexico are also reporting these things. Is this stuff heating up? Is it, mystery drones seemed like they had died down a little bit, or are they now back in full force? Or is something else happening? Is this, whatever is going on, this phenomenon, about to get stranger and more overt? Is this indeed the phenomenon making itself known to us? Maybe it was sending a message to somebody originally, and that message was ignored, and now they're just saying, screw it, we're going to make ourselves known. Or is something else going on? Let me know what you think about it all, guys. Maybe they're actively doing something. Maybe they're about some sort of operation or mission. And it's not about making themselves known to us. But, whatever mission they've been on, they've been doing it for a while. They're pretty slow if they're on a mission. That's all I'm saying. But meanwhile, we've got to talk about the new video from Skywatcher. Skywatcher Part 1, The Journey Begins. Got great stuff, and they include segments from Gary Nolan and Jake Barber and various others. It's a super amazing video. I highly recommend it to everybody. I'm very excited to see what Skywatcher is going to bring to the table based on this. Gets me very pumped for Skywatcher, which I guess is the point. But hey, I think they deserve it. I think that this seems very exciting what they're doing, and you won't really know what I'm talking about until you watch the video. So I highly recommend you do so. One thing that Jake Barber talks about, because some of the dots kind of got connected for me in this video. At one point, he talks about working for a private contractor, and he doesn't name the private contractor, whether it's Lockheed or Boeing or Northrop Grumman or somebody else. But he talks about a private contractor at one point working with another private contractor. And, we know that at some point, some data was apparently stolen. And there were these tough books full of this data. And his team was sent out to retrieve these tough books, which are apparently dropped off in desolate places, apparently for somebody else to pick up. I really have so many questions about this, but I have to wonder, because he talks about these two private contractors working together, coming together on this thing. Well, did somebody betray somebody else and steal some information that he then had to go and retrieve? Is that how it shook out? And was there a firefight that maybe have cost some lives? Because he said in that full interview with Ross, and even I think in the abbreviated interview, that, yeah, there were some shots that were exchanged, before he showed up. But he had seen some that shots were exchanged, and he didn't want to say anything else about it. I have to wonder if there were bodies, if there was actually a firefight that took place between various teams, which would, kind of go with the information that we have from John Stewart, Nico, and others, that, for example, the Lockheed Martin firefight took place, where Lockheed Martin actually, had a lethal exchange with JSOC over a downed UFO that turned out to be a Lockheed Martin ARV, or Alien Reproduction Vehicle. So yeah, there's factions within the UFO control group. They don't all seem to be friendly with each other. I would love more information about that and what that might mean, especially for Jake's group. What faction are they with? Are they with any faction? Are they totally going rogue? So many questions, guys. So many questions, but highly recommend this full video. One of the interesting things that came out. So this gentleman here, his name is Jordan Jozak, who is one of the psionic assets. Well, it comes up that a man named Shane Frakes, who claims to be associated with Jordan Jakes. He says, I have a close connection with Jordan, and he is entirely legitimate. And Shane Frakes is an interesting guy, claims to be MK Ultra, part of the GATE program, recruited when he was a child. And he posts this link from Ross Coulthart, who was talking about some similar stuff that was written about in a book.
And I'm fascinated with this book. I'm not sure if it's still coming out. Maybe it's still going through DOPSR, Defense Office Pre-Publication Security Review approval. But in the blurb that was published at the time in April 2023, Andrews came across a file compiled for him by his late father containing records from a past he did not remember, including documents indicating he was removed from school for weeks every year from the 1st through 12th grades. It also contained evidence that he'd received an honourable discharge from the US Air Force and that he worked in space intelligence communications as a minor. Now, that's very interesting, because I initially thought that was science fiction as well, and I'm now talking to people who've been inside the psionics program, who also tell me that they were recruited as children.
Okay, yeah, so that is exactly what Shane Frakes is saying. Air Force, active in the Air Force, Well, he is saying that he was recruited as a child and he is a psionic asset. And he has a lot of interesting stuff to say in on his page. So I'm referring you to it, and I'll link to his page in the comments below. I found it really fascinating. At one point, he's actually recommending steps for how to develop like psionic abilities and stuff. And I thought that was really interesting. If indeed, the Jake Barber information has gotten people interested enough in psionics and taking that seriously that more and more people are looking into that now. Now, Daz Smith offered this to say in response to that. I'm seeing a lot of posts about people wanting to and people advising on psionic training and where to get it. Guys, stop. By all means, look into remote viewing or psychic development, but do not jump into it. Do not just jump head first into wanting to do CE5. Read first, research, and inform yourself. Any development of these skills will change you. Be aware, forewarned, and educate yourself. There are amazing things to experience, but there are also negative things. Educate, educate, educate. Yeah, and I think that's, probably good advice. Don't just jump into anything head first without knowing what you're diving into, right? And also go into this stuff with the right intentions and in the right headspace and heart space. Go into this stuff with love and light. I can't overemphasize that because, as Daz points out, there are dark things out there. Once you jump in the ocean, you never know what you're going to get, right? But there are amazing things out there. And I can totally see why Shane Frakes would be encouraging people to go out and develop these abilities and this connection. Because it is possible, and there is awe and wonder and beauty to be found. But be careful and go into it with the right intentions and in the right headspace. Be centered and clear and go into it with love. Meanwhile, John Bell has some more great UFOs for us. In this video, we'll see there's 2 airplanes, and then we'll see the anomalous object that is seeming to pass below these 2 airplanes. So yeah, we can see what an airplane looks like on John Bell's video and on his camera. And there we go. There is the UFO. Looks like an orb-shaped UFO that is passing beneath the route of these 2 planes. Great video, one of many from John Bell at Real Florida UFO. I love his channel. I love what John is doing. He's an experiencer. These objects show up for him. And, other people like Chris Bledsoe or something that can summon UFOs, where the phenomenon seems to want to interact with him and to allow him and encourage him to get it on camera. Well, he gets it on camera. And he actually did an experiment recently where he left his camera on auto while he was sleeping to see if it would catch up any activity when he wasn't directly taking the video. And it didn't. This stuff wants to interact with John. I thought that was really, really fascinating, because the question had always been, in my mind, was he living in a UFO hotspot and just anybody with a camera could go out there and record it? Or is it interacting specifically with him? And it seems like it's interacting with John. So I thought that was really fascinating. He took a little break, but now he is back and he's got great UFO videos for us like these. So I'll link to his channel below, and I encourage everybody to go check it out. Another channel that I really want to promote is Latchkey Hustle, who has a criminal lack of subscribers, less than 1,000 subscribers. But he puts up great videos. Check out this one, guys. He puts up a lot of like dragon UFOs and that sort of videos. But look at this. We have an orb transforming into a bird. Okay, check. This is nuts. First it's a bird, then it becomes an orb, and then it becomes a bird. What? Well, what's going on in this crazy footage, guys? I love it. That's insane. Meanwhile, to get back to Skywatcher, their Twitter page says, to help you understand the scale of what's happening here, we've had over 100 highly qualified present and former military and intelligence officials reach out to assist. We've also had 50 plus researchers and scientists get in contact. We're talking about a highly complex initiative that involves precise execution across multiple domains. We believe we were successful in our first attempt. Patience, everyone. More soon. Now, watch this page. Well, I'll be watching. And speaking of Jake Barber, Jake had some really interesting things he had to say in the extended interview with Ross Coulthart about how they kind of manipulated Dopser into revealing some stuff to help them navigate the process and what they could speak to. Here, Chris Lato talks a little bit about that.
A former F-16 pilot here. I think a lot of people missed from Jake Barber, the recent firsthand UFO whistleblower, his full interview, is that he submitted his book, Sentinels of Ether, to the DOPSR, Defense Office Publication Security Review. And what they do is they send that book out now to elements inside the government to determine if certain areas of it are classified. And Jake said in his interview with Ross Coulthart that 7 pages of his first 20 pages were actually redacted. So he can't share that information with us, obviously the public, because it's classified, but he can now take that to Congress. So he can go inside a classified SCIF, for instance, to the members of Congress who actually do have clearance and say, hey, look, they classified this. This means that certain elements within the government do have knowledge of this stuff and they have redacted it for certain reasons. And
yeah, a great encapsulation from Chris Lato of what Jake Barber and his people were trying to do, manipulating the DOPSR process to reveal some stuff so that they could then go to Congress and talk about it. I love it. Good job, Chris, for breaking it down for us. And great job, Jake and his people. Godspeed in Congress. I hope you make some progress. Speaking of government disclosure, Stephen Greer has this to say.
John Ratcliffe appointed head of the CIA. We've got about 20 seconds. Is he friendly to the cause of disclosure?
He is, but he has some entanglements from his past that have to be dealt with from what are called the legacy operations. I know this for a fact, and that's trying to be sorted out. So it's a very complicated story. We're not going to unpack it in a couple minutes, but I'm in touch with senior people in the administration. I've been trying to get them on the right page.
Yeah.
It's complicated, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm sure it is complicated, and I know that Stephen Greer had a lot of naysayers, and I've certainly said some stuff that I don't regret because he definitely deserves some criticism for his denial of alien abductions or NHI abductions. It's a vast phenomenon that has affected many people, and his blanket denial of their experiences is just wrong. And it's incorrect. It's factually incorrect, and I've gone over that before. That really rubs me the wrong way, but he actually has delivered on a lot. He has brought forth whistleblowers, he does make connections, and he does surprisingly have more access to the administration than you might think, and I do know that. So will he be able to make any progress? Well, we'll have to find out, but I am encouraged that at least he's continuing to try, and he is working with the right people, hopefully. He also speaks to the whole Jake Barber situation and how he was hoping to be able to present Jake's information, but instead Jake went with Ross Coulthart on News Nation. But he says there may still be more to come.
Well, Jake Barber, who came out on another network, not yours, with two of his colleagues, released a few seconds of a retrieval of a non-human intelligence craft. It looked like about a 25-foot egg-shaped object. And that was not his retrieval, but someone else who was working with. It's the tip of a very large iceberg. And what he was asked to do by the intelligence community is to release that more slowly over the next year in preparation for the new administration and intelligence officials to set up a platform for all this coming out with full detail. I know that what they have is an enormous amount of information. It's on a blockchain system I can't talk about.
Okay.
It's extensive. It will include retrieval of non-human craft. I know they also have a human craft that they've imaged that are reverse engineered.
Dr. Greer, I just, we're tight on time.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, that there is this blockchain of information that Greer is talking about that they still have and might release. Well, while we wait for that, let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I'd sure appreciate it. Smash the like button and the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You can do it, Fish. You can do it. You got this, man. You got this. He's almost got it. He's almost got it. Yeah, he's got it. He's got it. All right. I knew you could do it. Knew you could do it. Like and subscribe, buy a t-shirt, become a channel member. There's plenty of other videos on the channel. See you next time, guys. This is Jack with the Cosmic Rude, signing out.